too. I don't know why. I don't even know why I bothered bringing the sheet music for it today. Evening, you guys.
Hello.
Let's see. Get up and sing with us if you want to, if you know the words. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. One more time. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. Let's tag it. God gives me everything I need. Yeah. God gives me everything I need. Yeah.
We have Jimmy Eads, our amazing music director, and Catherine Barrett is up here joining us today. Thank you. Yay. Yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Northern Colorado. My name is Reverend Leah Alvarado. So glad that you have joined us today. Welcome to those online. Welcome to all those who are joining us from afar. Wherever you are welcome here. We are committed to honoring all faith traditions, all beliefs, all practices. Wherever you are on your journey, you are welcome here. And each week, I will be giving you specifically, practical tools that you can take in your life and you can actually apply and use them so that you can experience more joy and more freedom and more peace. And we study the teachings of Ernest Holmes, who believed that when you change your thoughts, when you change your beliefs, you change your life. So that's who we are. Let's say our mission and our vision together. Our mission: we are an inclusive community, inspiring personal growth, spiritual practice, and a positive way of life. And our vision: to awaken humanity, revealing a world that works for everyone. I do want to mention that we have Lonnie Hickman, one of our practitioners. She's going to be holding us all in consciousness. So for those that are new to that, that just means she's holding us all in prayer. So she's sitting in the audience here, and she'll be praying for the entire service. Thank you, Lonnie. All right, do we have any kiddos? I see people young at heart. Now, Alea is here, not to put Alea on the spot. And we have Amaya, and we have more kiddos coming in. Yay! Good timing. Come on up. Sweetie.
All right, here we go. God is everything there is, so I am part of God. I know there's lots of good for me and everybody else. I'm thankful and grateful for everything we have. So I let go of this prayer, and so it is.
Nice job. All right. I'm going to bring up Linda for some announcements. Thank you, Linda, for filling in for Marie today.
Yeah. No pressure. I have to channel my inner Marie here. It's gonna be. Am I on? Okay. All right. Okay, Marie, this is for you. No QR code. Sorry, Marie. Okay, coming up this Thursday, and I'm excited about this one, really excited, is the Karen Drecker concert. So,
Like an ice cream cone there.
chocolate, okay. No, I'm not going to lick it. Okay, there's still a little time to buy tickets for this Thursday, so get in there and do that if you haven't done it. Next, a 6-week class beginning.
Say one thing.
Yes.
So who's On a ticket for Karen Drucker. Who's coming to Karen Drucker? Okay, if you've never seen her, she's outstanding. She's one of the most well-known New Thought artists in our movement. And she's coming from California. It's a very special thing. So if you like live music, you want to just get your joy on, come. It's, tickets are in our newsletter and on our website.
They are.
So Thursday night, she'll be here.
You heard it from the boss. Okay.
Just needed to sell it a little bit.
I know.
Nothing wrong what you did. I just,
Oh, I'm so sensitive. Not that sensitive. Okay. I'll be there. So, okay. September 29th, a 6-week class on love and logic. Learn unparalleled solutions to build healthy relationships with your kids while setting firm, loving limits that turn problem behaviors around. Wish I'd had this 40 years ago. Anyway, taught by our youth and family director, Brooke Minkle, who just went off with the kids. She has helped over 100 families and teachers using this method. So if you have a kid, want to have a kid, are a kid, teach a kid, or work with a kid, this might be a really good opportunity.
Or even a grandparent to a child
grandparent.
could be helpful
There you
as
go.
well. So
yeah.
check it out. It's a great class. Yeah.
And next we have Exploring Death with Courage, Heart, and Choice. This is a topic that is underused, and I'm really glad that you're doing this. Facilitated by Reverend Leah, Sherry Jensen, and one of our practitioners, Lonnie Hickman, who is holding space for us right now. And I'd like to say a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so this is a topic all of us can relate to. It can be a little intimidating, yes. This is why we're doing it, so that we can heal whatever needs to be healed, so that we can move toward death, whenever that is for all of us, feeling more empowered, feeling more inspired. We're going to do some really, really good things in this class, and so you'll get a chance to look at that and your relationship with death in a really deep way. So if you have questions, I'm here. Sherry, raise your hand. Sherry is the other presenter. Thank you, Sherry. And of course, Lonnie as well. So check it out. Come join us. It's going to be awesome.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. After service today, this is our third Sunday, so we'll be having a potluck. Please join us. Our first and third Sundays, we will be having potlucks. So you can sign up to bring something, or you can just come and enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay. So everything else would be on our website.
There it is.
There's Marie without the QR code, sorry. cslnoco.org. Marie.
For those that don't know Marie, she normally does announcements. She's
Yeah,
off this Sunday.
she does. She's amazing.
She's got a thing about QR codes.
Okay,
So.
and then she says, that's all I've got.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Linda, for
may
filling in.
You can turn me off now.
Okay. The man in the back can turn you off. There he goes. All right. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. All right. So please join us now as we move into a quieter time. And we're going to sing a song called Surely the Presence. And the words are on the screen, so I invite you to go within and glance up, look at the words, sing along with us. This is a beautiful song. We haven't sang this song in a long time, so please join us.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence is in this place. That was good, guys. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
And so let's just staying in that meditative space, taking a moment to go within. So we recognize right here, right now, that there is one presence, one life, one presence that goes by many names. And we know that we are one with that presence. We recognize and know that that essence of the divine is within us, around us, and for us, always and in all ways. And so I'm knowing that this essence, that this light that is the divine, that is God, is a presence that can be felt. It is a presence that enlivens and supports each one of us on this path, on this journey called life. And I'm knowing that this presence supports this service today, that it holds each of us. It opens our hearts to receive whatever it is that is for our highest and our greatest good. And so we give thanks, knowing and trusting that we are exactly where we need to be in this moment, to receive whatever teaching, whatever insight, whatever wants and needs to come through to each one of us. And so we give thanks for that. We give thanks for this time. We give thanks for this beautiful gathering of like-minded souls who have said yes to this journey, who have said yes to their spiritual path. And so with great gratitude, I release this, knowing it is done, knowing that we are blessed and a blessing to each other and to the world. And so with that, we let it go. And with a deep breath, we release it. And together we say, and so it is.
All right. So, this song is by a band that I just found, Ma Muse. Are you guys Ma Muse fans? Ma Muse. Anybody? You will be after today. This song is called River Run Free. How to go about it? How to let this river run free? All the mountains shouting, free the well of love within me. Bow down beside it. Lean into the love of loving. There's no need to doubt it. You can bet that river's singing. Oh, the will of sorrow is to make clean these springs of joy. In this here, now gone tomorrow, we are bound and we have choice. that river calling, calling us into our calling. Wade out in the water, dream the dream the river's dreaming. How to go about it, how to let this river run free. All the mountains shouting, free the well of love within me. Bow down beside it, lean into the love of loving. There's no need to doubt it. You can bet that river's singing. Oh, the will of sorrow is to make clean these springs of joy in this here, now, gone tomorrow. We are bound and we have choice. We are bound and we have choice. We are bound and we have choice.
I'm liking my muse. My muse? Is that it? Yeah, nice. Yeah, nice job. Thank you, Jimmy. All right, so this month I'm talking about different faith traditions. And the reason I'm doing that is because there's so much beauty in different religions. And Ernest Holmes, if you know our philosophy, has incorporated so many of them into our path and our faith tradition. Today, I'm talking about Sufism. And as I was preparing for my talk, God, I just fell in love with this faith, with this path, because it's known as the religion of the heart. That is what Sufism is, and it's also been called the path of love. And I love love, so there's a reason why I fell in love with it. Sufis believe that love is the most powerful force in the universe. We've heard that before. They really believe that. They believe that energy of the divine, that's what love is. And they refer to the divine, they refer to God as Allah. But here's what they call Allah. To them, Allah is the beloved. How beautiful is that? It's the beloved. And that term really gives us an indication of how they feel about God and their relationship to it. Sufism teaches us to open our heart. It's all about opening our heart, because they know that when our heart is open, that's when we can experience true divine love. That's when we can experience it. That's when we can experience our connection to the divine. That emotional, spiritual connection is possible when our heart is open. And all of this happens through this love and this connection to spirit. To them, it's about falling in love with God. Now, I didn't think about that. I hadn't thought about that before. But falling in love with a partner, falling in love with someone, yes, a person, but falling in love with God, that takes it to a whole other level. We all know about the renowned poet, Sufi poet, Rumi. And, when I was first introduced at Rumi many, many years ago, as I was reading, I said, oh, these are wonderful poems for my partner. And they can be, because when you read them, it's as if he's writing to his lover or something. But actually, they're all about God. They're all about the divine. And I love this one. He says, "In your light, I learn how to love. In your beauty, how to make poems. You dance inside my chest where no one sees you." Isn't that beautiful? So he's saying that when we are immersed in the beauty of the divine, that's when we really understand what love is. When we're immersed in it, we understand it. And when we're immersed in it, when we are connected to that divinity within us, everything comes from that. Our creativity, our artistic expression, all of it comes, our passions, everything comes from that place. That presence that is hidden there, but can be felt. Each faith tradition has given us a gift. And I believe that with Sufism, the gift that this beautiful philosophy has given to us is a deeper and a richer understanding of the divine, of God. And what is possible for us when we unite with it. So in order to experience the love, that it's ecstatic love that Rumi alludes to in his poetry, there's a little bit of work we got to do, a little bit. We have to release our previous held judgments and opinions about who God is and what God is. And we have to be willing to expand our definition of what God is and what love is, by the way, not just God. They are one and the same, but it is an important thing to reflect on both. What is our relationship to both? And am I willing to expand my definition of both? So on our spiritual journey, at some point, our hearts begin to open. A little bit more and a little bit more. Some of you have probably noticed that if you've been on the path for a while. And it happens because as we keep doing our spiritual work, the layers begin to fall away. The wounding begins to be healed. And it takes time, but the more that we're willing to do the work, the layers start to fall away. And what happens is our heart begins to open a little more and a little more. And when our heart is open, so much more is available to us. If you've ever experienced real passion, like out of this world passion for something in your life. I suspect all of us have experienced that. That can only happen when our heart is open. It can't happen if our heart is closed. If there's someone in your life that you have forgiven, like a really hard one, a really, really hard one, and you feel complete with that, and you feel free, you were able to do that because your heart was open. Those moments when you experience success and joy and happiness, it's because your heart has been open to receive it and to experience it. We can experience all the money and the success in our life, but if our hearts are closed, then we're not going to experience the same level of joy. It just isn't possible. And our experience with the divine is the same. We cannot experience that ecstatic feeling, that ecstatic experience that Sufism talks about without our heart being open. Now, the first step then might be, and we need great courage for this, to be able to ask ourselves, what needs to be healed within me in order to fully open my heart? What needs to be fully healed within me in order to open my heart? And, on the path, even on a day-to-day basis, one moment we feel our heart closed. Someone says something that's hurtful or does something that's hurtful, and our heart closes down. And then the next moment, we're in meditation, we're in our prayer time, we're walking through nature, and our heart blasts open. And this could happen throughout the day. It's open, and then it's closed, and then it's open, and then it's closed again. So it's reacting to whatever it is that we're experiencing in our life. But what if we consciously choose to open our heart? That we make it part of our spiritual practice to do that. Sufis believe that pain isn't personal. They believe that it's part of the journey. It's part of the journey of being alive. And some of us would rather not be the case. But it is part of the journey. And the reason why they don't run from it or judge it is because they know that every single painful experience brings us closer to God. Every experience brings us closer to the divine. Rumi said, if God said, Rumi, pay homage to everything that has helped you enter my arms, there would not be one experience in my life, not one thought, not one feeling, not any act I would not bow to. And that is really what Sufis believe. That no matter what we are experiencing, to be able to bow in reverence to that very thing because they know that it's going to ultimately transform their life. That it's ultimately going to bring them closer to God, to the beloved. A Sufi teacher said, the human heart is a holy shrine. If we can remember this, we will treat ourselves and others with more compassion and more love. So, right here, everybody put your hand on your heart. Right here is a holy shrine. Think about that for a moment. We don't think of our hearts that way, do we? We don't. We're in fact not even aware half the time that our heart is beating or doing what it needs to do to keep us alive, let alone the spiritual connection that's there. But this is a holy shrine. I love that he said that. And so if we can know that and feel that within our being, within the center of our being, within the center of our chest, how would you walk through the world differently? How would you engage and interact with people differently? How would you treat yourself? Sufis believe that if our hearts are alive with the divine, if we are consciously aware of it and working with it and noticing it and feeling it, that it will distract the ego. And that's a cool thing, is it not? Yeah. So they believe that all of us human beings, we all have ego. We're all walking through the world, and we've got our issues, and we've got our challenges, and we've got our pains. But for them, when they take time every day to connect with that holy shrine, when they really take time to feel it, to connect with it, to know it, and live from that, the ego disappears. Those moments when you've been in deep meditation or deep prayer, you've noticed that, yes? There's no place for the ego because we're in that moment so powerfully connected to God, to the divine. The ego can't hang on. It just can't. So they know this. Sufism, they talk a lot about the ego. And to them, it cleansing the heart, continually releasing and cleansing those aspects of ourselves that still wants to glom on and attach to people, things, experiences, the past, our pains, our dramas, and our traumas, all of it. And I don't say that to diminish it. Dramas and traumas. We all have that as part of the human journey. It's part of our walk. But there's an opportunity here for all of us. As there always is. I think I say that every Sunday. There's always an opportunity, and it comes down to a choice. So for Sufis, the more that we are willing to do our work and cleanse and heal and release, we see the ego, but we consciously release it, and we choose to come back to that holy shrine we can be a greater vessel of divine light and love. We can be a greater vessel for divine light and love. Sufi teacher Robert Frager, he talks about how Sufism isn't a religion. It's actually a practice. It's a practice that we take into our life on a daily basis. And so remembering the divine within us and remembering that the divine is in each and every single person. For them, it's a daily practice. It isn't just the time when they spend in meditation and prayer, and that's a big part of what they do, meditation, prayer, and chanting. But it's in all the mundane things, when they're at King Soopers shopping. It's when they're walking down the street, driving their car, it's filling it up with gas, whatever it is they're doing. Every person that they see and engage with and interact with is that holy shrine. They practice it every single day in every moment with every single person they come into contact with or think about. There's a saying in the Quran that says, "To Allah belongs the east and the west. So wherever you might turn, there is the face of Allah. Indeed, Allah is all-encompassing and all-knowing." So this idea of seeing the face of God in others, many teachers have spoken about this. And we understand the importance of it, but to actually practice it, to actually be that in the world is a whole different thing. To recognize that divine essence that has created worlds is within me and it is within each person. Everything we experience on a daily basis is an opportunity to remember who we are and to remember who the divine is. You know, in the Western world, last week I talked about Hinduism and how, you know, in Hinduism they have a devotional aspect, a beautiful devotional aspect, and so does Sufism. But in the Western world, we've moved away from that, haven't we? There are many of us who are still trying to unravel who and what God is, and what it means, and what our relationship is to it. And there are many of us who have deep wounds from our religious upbringing. And so we find our way to a center like this because we want we're so repulsed by how we were raised and the religion that we were raised with. So we reject Christianity, we reject God, and we come to a center like this and we want to use every other term for God besides God. Yes, spirit and divine intelligence and essence and love and every other word other than God. No, I don't want to say that word. No, it's uncomfortable. No, it's going to make someone uncomfortable. No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to use it. I don't want to use it. So for all of us on this journey, opening our heart involves opening our heart to God. And to look at our relationship to it. Are we using another term because it's just preference? Or are we using another term because of something we experienced long ago and we're rejecting it? Anything we reject is the ego. And anything that we reject, we can't have reverence for it. Not in the same way. It's not possible. So we may use all these other terms, but if we're rejecting the word God, we are in a sense rejecting the allness that the divine is, that God is. So I invite all of us to look at that. What is your relationship to it? If you're feeling some discomfort as you hear me say the word God, if you're feeling any kind of discomfort, it just means there's some work to do. It doesn't mean anything's wrong. It just means that there's a little bit more work to do For years, I rejected God myself. I didn't believe that God even existed for a long time when I was in my 20s. And then once I began my spiritual path, I slowly started to come back, and I started to have a different relationship, and I understood, okay, God isn't just out here, some God on a throne, a male figure, but it's an energy. Okay, I get that. And so I started to develop a different relationship with it, and that was good, but I noticed that I still couldn't say the word God, and I still, when I'd see it in a book, I would just react. And so it took me a minute, more than a minute, to shift my relationship with it. And here's where I am now. My relationship with God now is something that moves me. There are moments when I will weep thinking about it and my relationship to it. And when I connect with it in my prayer time, it feels like coming home. And so I now have a different connection and relationship to it, and as a result of that, my heart can open in a way that wasn't possible before. So I invite all of us to look at that. What is your relationship to it? How does this word God, how does it feel to you? What needs to shift or be released within you in order to see it and to feel it differently? Ernest Holmes referred to connecting to God as practicing the presence. Practicing the presence. And by practicing the presence, which essentially means connecting to God, he knew that that was how we would experience more peace and more joy and more freedom, by connecting in. He understood the power of the divine. He understood the power of God, and he understood the power of spending time connecting into it. He talked about uniting with God and experiencing something called cosmic consciousness. And he said this about cosmic consciousness. By cosmic consciousness, we mean one's consciousness of their unity with the whole. This is not a mystery, however, but the self-knowingness of God through the individual. Illumination will come as we realize our unity with the whole and as we constantly endeavor to let the truth operate through us. Some say that Ernest Holmes was a mystic. And when you read some of his writings, when you read the text, the Science of Mind text, you can kind of get that. You can tell that a lot of what he wrote was channeled. It came right through him in an extraordinary way. A lot of it's a little heady, though. It's a little heady, a little intellectual, which is nothing wrong with that. But here's what happened to him at the end of his life, and some of you may know this. At the end of his life, on February 12, 1959, he was giving a talk at a church in California. And as he was up there giving his talk, he suddenly exclaimed in the middle of his talk, "I see it. I see it. The veil is thin," he shouted out. And people were wondering what was going on. They could see actually his face light up, but they weren't understanding what was going on with him because it had nothing to do with what he was saying. And then he said again, "I see it, I see it." And he had to just sit down right in the middle of his talk because he couldn't keep going. He couldn't keep talking. So a good friend of his, a minister, Dr. George Bendel, asked him later, what happened? What did you experience? And he said that night he had the experience of leaving his body and going up above the church, all the way above the roof. And as he looked down, he saw the entire room filled with light. Every person was light. The entire room was filled with light. And what he experienced was that his whole body was vibrating with this light. He felt connected to every star in the universe. He knew in that moment what the truth really was. He knew in that moment that his individual self was not impacted by any mistake he had made in his life. All he could see and know was the truth, was that divine connection, that cosmic connection. Later, he said to Bendel, he said, I can't share this. I can't, because people are not going to understand what I've experienced, this mystical experience that I've had. And Bendel said, no, you have to share this. You have to share this with the world. And so what he ended up doing is he wrote an epic poem called The Voice Celestial. Have anybody heard of this, The Voice Celestial? When you read some of what he wrote in this poem, it's as though Rumi wrote it. It has a very different energy and a very different vibration to it, because he was so tapped into his heart. His heart had blasted open in a way that he hadn't experienced before. I want to read a little bit from it. Like tides from an invisible ocean of life, bringing messages from the shore of time, eternity presses upon us. It belongs to the present moment. Occasionally, a door opens. Eternity enters and brings the light. Messages from the unknown mystery of being, ranges of consciousness unlimited, and on to the great heart that breathes in rhythmic lovingness in everything. O heart of Christ, O heart of God, O light. That last line, on and on to the great heart that breathes in rhythmic lovingness in everything. He's talking about divine love. He's talking about that extraordinary ecstatic experience of connecting with the divine. And that is possible for all of us. We don't have to go and have a mystical experience to actually experience that. The Sufis, that's part of their commitment, to have that kind of experience on a regular basis. They're committed to that. And the more that we focus on opening our heart, the more that we focus on connecting to the divinity within us, we are likely to experience that profound connection ourselves. The Sufis call that ecstatic state ishq. It's that spiritual ecstasy. And you know, the whirling dervishes, they're a sect of Sufism founded by Rumi. And they experience that ecstatic spiritual connection through dance. The dervishes wear this very distinctive attire, a white, long robe, and that robe symbolizes unity. And their hat, the brown, tall hat that they wear, that represents the tombstone of the ego. And when they are doing their spinning, I have the pants for it, but I don't quite. So when they're doing their spinning, their right hand is up towards the sky. The right hand represents the connection to the divine and receiving the blessings of the divine coming down their right hand into their heart. And their left hand faces the ground, and those blessings come from the right and then go down out their hand, and it blesses the world. And as they're whirling, as they're spinning, they're chanting. And as they're chanting, they're releasing their ego. They're letting go of all of those ego desires, and they're connecting even more deeply to the divinity within them. And so again, you know, we don't have to have these mystical experiences. We don't have to dance or move in that way. But we can experience that ecstatic bliss by doing our work, by practicing. All of you came in today and you received an affirmation. Did everybody receive one? We're going to say it. I'm going to say it and I'm going to have you repeat it back to me. And what I'd like you to do actually is not to look at it. I just wanted to make sure you had one, and there's more in the back if you need one. But what I'd like you to do right now, if you're comfortable, is close your eyes. And I want you to place your hands over your heart and repeat after me. I open my heart and connect to the beloved within. I choose to know my heart as a holy shrine and to know this truth for all beings. Keeping your eyes closed, place one hand up towards the sky. Place your right hand up towards the sky. And with your intention, see and feel yourself receive blessings from the divine, from God. Feel that coming down through your palm and down your arm and into your heart. Feel that pouring into you from that cosmic consciousness. Feel whatever blessings that you would like to receive right now. Feel that coming through your hand and into your being. And now place your left hand downward, facing, palm down, facing the floor. And this gesture symbolizes your willingness to transmit the energy and those blessings to the world. So as you receive those blessings, as they're coming through your right hand, feel it coming down and going down out your left hand, blessing the world. Send those blessings out your left hand down deep into the earth, and know that whatever being on this planet, whoever is needing help and assistance right now and blessings, that your love is blessing them. And so keeping your hands where they are, your right hand in the air and your left hand down, we're going to move right into prayer. And as I speak these words, know these words are coming through you and blessing the world below you. And so in this moment, we recognize the presence and the power of the divine. We open our hearts more and more to receive those blessings, to know that we are blessed and a blessing, that our hearts are a holy shrine to anyone that we think about, to anyone we come into contact with, that we are that light in the world. I am knowing that we are remembering our connection with God, and that anything that needs to be healed or released is healed and released, so that we can open our hearts even more to experience an even more profound connection with the divine, so that we can experience more peace and more joy, more groundedness as we walk through the world. And so we claim this for our lives. We claim this for the people around us. For as we make a decision to shift and change and move and grow within our life, we give others silent permission to do the same. And so I'm knowing that as our heart is blasted open, as we are choosing to connect with God, to connect with the divine, every day, every moment, that we are experiencing more peace, more joy, more freedom, and an abundance of blessings in our life. And so with great gratitude, we release this, we let this go, and we know and trust that as we hand it over, the divine God always says yes. And so we let it go, we allow it to be, and together we say, and so it is.
I am the place where God lives. moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Sing with us. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
Thank you all. It's so lovely to see you all stand and feel that and connect with that. So I ask our ushers to come forward. It's now time in our service for our tithes and our gifts. We believe that as we give, we receive. We believe in the law of circulation, and so I'm knowing that as we place our gifts on our heart, that whatever it is that we are giving, that it is coming back to us in a beautiful and powerful way. Let's say our offering affirmation together. This gift is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give, and joyfully I receive.
All right. Y'all pumped for that Karen Drucker show? This is one of her songs. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am stronger every moment, every day.
My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and pure and free. As I continue walking on this mystery, I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am grateful every moment, every day.
There may be walls, there may be roadblocks in my way, but I can choose to take a higher path each day. And now I know what I thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that held me down.
I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am kinder every moment, every day, and I'm more loving every moment, every day. I will surrender every moment, every day.
Beautiful job. And so I just give thanks for all that is flowing into this community, knowing that it is multiplying and serving us as we continue to do this work here in this community and in the world. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you all. All right, is there anybody here for the first time? Anybody here for the first time? Okay, if there's people online, hello, welcome. All right. So before I get into our benediction, before we move into that, I just want to say something about Julie Koenig. So for those who've been coming a while, Julie Koenig is our incredible musician that accompanies Jimmy every week, and she's getting married in October. And so we're so excited for her. She's off this week and next week doing wedding things. So I got her a card, and I'm hoping we can all sign it. And then if we asked her, so are you registered anywhere? And she said, no, I just want money for my honeymoon. That's all we want. That's it. We got stuff. We have all the things we need. We just need money for a honeymoon. So there's an envelope in the back on the blue table back there with the blue tablecloth. So if you'd like to pop some money in there, sign the card, wish her well, we'll be doing that this week and next week. So just wanted to say that. We love Julie, and we're so excited for her. Yeah. And thank you, Catherine, for stepping in, for joining us. So lovely to have you with us. And Jimmy, as always, amazing. Thank you. All right, so please stand for our closing benediction and our closing song. If you want to place your hands on your heart, and let's say our benediction together. May we be at peace. May our hearts remain open. May we awaken to the light of our own true nature. May we be healed, and may we be a source of healing for all beings. Love is who I am. Love is who we are. Love is all there is.